Hey everybody, this is Brenda Devine from Purpose 8 Institute, and you're listening to my podcast, Living a Life of Purpose, where we discuss the importance of purpose in our everyday lives. Discovering and living out your purpose keeps you focused on God's purpose. That is sharing the good news of salvation with others. This podcast is for people like me, still searching for the answers to who am I and why am I here? You and I were designed and created by God for purpose, and we have much to do. You can listen and subscribe to my podcast, Living a Life of Purpose with Brenda Devine on Anchor and all other podcast platforms. Hi, this is Brenda Devine from Purpose 8 Institute. Hey, I hope that all is well with you. All is well with me. I just want to say thank you for joining me for another episode of my podcast, Living a Life of Purpose. And so today's topic is sin at work. I did a post maybe over a year ago about broken leadership. And I've pivoted my career to be a small scale developer. I decided a couple of years ago that I wanted to put that label on myself and be a real estate developer after 25 plus years in commercial real estate. And thinking back on my career, never does the conversation of purpose come into play. Even now when I'm on social media, when I'm on LinkedIn, when I'm having conversations with people about leadership, the human aspect never comes up. It's always about metrics and about performance and about missions and being driven for whatever the mission, vision, value system is. And that's good on the business side. You have to have some measures of operations and success. My background is in asset management, and that requires a lot of analysis and operational analysis, financial analysis. You're trying to get to a specific goal with your projects, with your buildings, with your leases, with your portfolio. I get that part. But there's a human aspect. And I'm going to be honest, I did not really understand the human aspect of leadership until God humbled me a couple of years ago and last year, humbled me on leadership, that you have to be a servant to lead. You can't just lead people and never have an opportunity or have the opportunity to be a servant. And a couple of days ago, I did a post on LinkedIn just to test the waters about leadership. Now, I see posts all the time about leadership and these inspirational messages, in which I agree with, but they're kind of superficial. They have no real human aspect to it. Because when you get down to it, we are human. People are human. We have emotions and feelings and opinions and perspectives, and we bring them all to work with us. As much as we try not to, we do, because we're human. And some of those feelings and perspectives and experiences aren't always good. And if you're not aware of them, if you don't work on them, if you don't adjust them, they come out in all kinds of ways against people. And that could be oppression, that could be discrimination, that could be down talking people, that could be devaluing people, not promoting people, bias, gender bias, racial bias, disability bias, all because we don't consider the human aspect of work. And what's also so interesting is that if you are a believer, or if you believe in God and you have a faith, you have a faith about God. People like to separate work from life. They will be a believer, they will be faithful, but when they get to work, it's like a switch. It's work. I can not think about the people who are on my team, who work in my department, who work in my organization, who work in my company, who are in the community as humans. They're pieces on a spreadsheet. They're pieces in a system. They're data. Excuse me. But they're not people. They're not humans. And the problem is, if you can't address your own humility, your own awareness that you are a human, you're going to have a real hard time addressing the aspect of other people are human as well. One of the most humbling things about God is when you realize, and he humbles you. And when I say humbles you, he takes you down to your lowest common denominator, and you realize that you are nothing, but you're also everything to him. When you have that type of occurrence in your life, that experience like I did, it's humbling on two folds. One is humbling that God is God and you are not. There's people running around here thinking they God. I was running around here thinking I was God. We're not. So it's humbling to acknowledge that God is Lord. God is the creator. God is the creator of the universe. He is the creator of everything in, around, above, underneath the world that we live in, and even outside of this world. He is God. We are not. And then you have to realize the humbling of people. When you see yourself so small compared to God, a speck, not even a speck, a vapor. We are a vapor in time. And you see there's other people. There are other humans. When you realize you're not that important, you understand that you are no better or no worse than the other person. But we so caught up on the metrics, on the performance. I heard someone say once, I want a high performance team. I mean, what exactly does that mean? Are you a race car driver? What is that? Does that mean you want people to work during the weekends while they're sick when they should be on vacation? I've done all that. And it's kind of expected. Nobody really says it, and some do. But you are to give your life to your job or to your business. You are to give your life. Everything revolves around work. And I get it. But you can't separate the human aspect of it. Just like you got your problems, just like you got your emotional triggers, just like you got your emotional baggage, just like your mama hurt you, just like your daddy left you, just like you were poor, just like you were raped, just like you were put in prison, just like you were hurt, and you're in a leadership position. There's people that work for you. They have issues too. But I see people not want to do any work on themselves and just want to ram all of their problems on other people. Also, because they have a position that requires that they perform, they got goals and metrics that they have to achieve too. So they don't have a problem sitting at work to get stuff done. What's sitting at work? Discriminating somebody, oppressing somebody, not paying somebody market, talking down to people, devaluing people, politicking over people, apathy towards people, not trying to help people, being jealous of people, being arrogant. I had an individual once call me, what did he call me? Marginal. I mean, I didn't know really what that was. We were in a heated argument. He called me that. I thought about it later. I said, geez, that's another way for saying, hey, black girl, hey, black woman, the conversations that we're having, you're really not supposed to be in those. You're supposed to just sit in your seat. Don't say anything and let the boys talk. That's really what that was. So that one word has impacted me. The words that we speak to people, we don't want to take account for them. We don't want to be accountable. We just want to say what we want to say. And some people, they're very direct in what they want to say. They'll call your name. They'll phrase something. I had somebody once tell me, oh, you are smart. Excuse me? Yeah, I am. But the disrespect, we'll do that. We'll be at work and we'll sin. But we don't consider it sin because we're at work. Oh, that's work. When I go to church, I'm faithful. I'm in my pew. I'm serving on the usher board. I'm tithing. I'm making offerings. But when I'm Monday morning and I hit that desk, it's on. Because I got to get to whatever I have to get to. I have to reach the goals that have been given to me. And it doesn't matter who gets hurt along the way. It doesn't matter what I say. It doesn't matter who I hurt, as long as I get to where I'm supposed to get to. And where exactly are you getting to? You're getting to a place of influence, because that's really what it's about. So I'm going to get promoted. It's about being promoted. It's about being paid more. It's about being included in those rooms, those tables that you've longed for, so you can feel better about yourself. But you can feel better about yourself already. God gives us. He tells us in the Bible what he feels about us. So you can make a choice to feel good about yourself on your own. You don't have to downgrade people. You don't have to hurt people. You don't have to limit people. You don't have to take away things from people. You don't have to limit their ability to grow, to be happy, to understand that there is goals and a mission for this organization. But that individual, that human, that person has purpose. Just as you have purpose, just as I have purpose. But it's so easy to separate and say, what I do at work is not a sin. I'm just doing my job. Are you really? just doing your job? Or can you do your job another way? I had an opportunity with a young woman who was discriminating against me, micromanaging me, placed over me. Had an opportunity to talk to her on a human level. She wanted no parts of that. She wanted to get to that room, to get to that table, to get to that place where she could feel good about herself. So anybody in between from point A to point B, we sinning. We sinning. Irregardless of who you hurt, irregardless of what you do and you say. And what we don't understand, and I'm going to say this too, because I've said some crazy stuff to people. We got to answer for what we do. We have to answer for what we say. We have to be accountable to our Maker. So while we may see a separation between going to church and going to work, there really is no separation between human to human. You might not like everybody. That's okay. You might not love everybody. That's okay. But you need to respect everybody. You need to give everybody the same opportunities, the same options, the same growth, the same resources that you would want as a human. You don't want anybody to dog you out, but you find it okay to dog somebody else out. If somebody started demeaning you, you would have a problem with it. But you don't have a problem demeaning someone else. Because it feels good to put somebody else down. Because that's easier. You don't have to do the work putting somebody else down. But to be a better person, to be a better human, you have to do some work. Now, I'm not just talking. I'm telling you what I know for myself. I've not been the best person. I've not been the nicest person. I would curse somebody off and keep it moving. I didn't care about anybody because I didn't care about myself. I didn't love myself, so I didn't love anybody else. But when I discovered God, not just in the Bible, but God in a relationship, when He came to me, He came to me. He had come to me before, but I didn't want to because I was so full of myself. But that last time He came and He humbled me, and I realized what He was offering me. I took it. And that was the beginning of me being a better person. And I was prideful. And I was wicked. And I didn't love anybody. And I didn't love myself. But when you start to read that Bible, the Bible that you read on Sundays, when you start to read that Bible and apply God's word to yourself, when you start doing the hard work of understanding, you ain't really all that. Okay? You want a bad feeling? Let me tell you what a bad feeling is. A bad feeling is when you are separated from God. When you have experienced His love and you have been humbled to understand what it feels like to be separate, just a taste of what it feels like to be separated from Him. You realize how small you are, how fragile, and you humble yourself. And you understand what love is between you and God. Now, if God is giving you all that, if He is loving on you, can't you, when you go to work, love on somebody? Can't you support them? Can't you encourage them? He's encouraging you. He's laying out a path for you. Can't you lay out a path for someone? Can't you humble yourself and be a human? Stop going to work and sinning. Stop going to work and thinking you all of that. Stop going to work and hurting people. We have adults that are still carrying the burdens from their past. No, that's not your responsibility. But just like you got healed, they can be healed. You can be an example of God's glory, but you're too busy trying to be you. When I was going through and I was trying to make sense of why, God, why am I going through this? Why am I being discriminated? Why am I feeling like this? Why am I being treated like this? And I heard, you don't have a problem leading, so you shouldn't have a problem being a servant. Okay. Wow. What am I going to say? No, God, you're not right. I had to swallow that. And I had to live it out. And I had to suffer through it. For 2 years. Till God said, no, it's time to go. Here's the thing. You don't know what your impact has on a person, good or bad. There's people out here killing themselves because somebody caught them on the wrong day. Your words and your actions have a weight. It can be a good weight of love, of understanding, of compassion. It can also be a weight to push someone over the line. So I want you to be mindful of when you go to work, to be kind. You're like, well, I'm not a believer. Okay, that's cool. Do what you want to do. I'm not asking you to be a believer. I'm asking you to realize that you're a human. You can believe or not believe. If you believe, that's even better. But be kind. Be respectful. You want somebody to be kind and respectful and gracious to you. We are only here for a limited amount of time. You want somebody to help you. What makes you think that other people don't want to be helped too? You didn't do everything on your own. You didn't pull yourself up about anything. God has made a way for you. You can make a way for other people too. But you need to stop being prideful and thinking that you all that and you're not. You are but a speck in time. You can be gone in seconds. We all can be gone in seconds. What are you going to leave behind? Are you going to leave behind that someone thought well of you, that you helped them, that you met them at a crossroad? They met you at a crossroad. And you provided a way for them. You gave them a kind word. You listened to them. You saw an opportunity and you made a phone call. You made an email. You introduced them to someone. You pushed them to take a class. You encouraged them. What are you going to leave for your legacy after you get old? You're sitting in that chair, laying in that bed. What are you going to leave? I want you to think about that. And this is Brenda Devine from Purpose 8 Institute. Hey, have a great day. Talk to you soon. Thank you. Bye-bye. Thank you for joining me on my podcast, Living a Life of Purpose, on Anchor and all other major podcast platforms. To learn more about Purpose 8 Institute and our ministry of sharing the importance of purpose, please visit our website, www.purpose8institute.com. You can also find us on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and even TikTok. If you would like to learn more about purpose beyond this podcast, Living a Life of Purpose, you can also purchase one of my books that are available on my website, purpose8institute.com, and also on Amazon.